What's up, everybody? We are back at it here today with another video. And this time we are bringing the Sarah Boone case back into focus here in the Orlando area in my home state of Florida because things have been kicked down the road once again. And I enjoy watching and listening to and following multiple cases at the same time for this reason. Every case is very different. Every case has its own set of specific issues. We can learn something different from every single case, not just because they're in different states. Sometimes they're in federal court, sometimes it's civil court, sometimes it's criminal, sometimes it's family law. But every case is very specific and it is its own set of circumstances. That's why the answer from lawyers so often is it depends. It depends on a lot of factors. It depends on a lot of different things on what the answer is and how your case is going to go, what your case is going to look like. So for anybody that's talked to a lawyer and been frustrated with that answer, the truth is sometimes that is the only answer a lawyer can give. So we're here talking about Sarah Boone again, a case that has lasted years and years and years. She seems to want to go to trial. She's been on 6 lawyers. She can't get this case to go to trial. Last time it was continued, it was because her lawyer had a death penalty case that was going to last weeks that he was preparing for. They couldn't get funding for the experts for the brand new defense they're coming up with years later into the case, the battered spouse defense. So that's why it got continued, and we understand. The judge has to allow the defense an opportunity to prepare what they believe is a competent and fair and just defense that's going to allow them to have a fair trial, to make sure that their constitutional rights are protected as a defendant. So even though the defendant in her mind wants to go to trial, she even agrees she wants the best shot to win, the best opportunity to present what she believes is the correct and proper defense. And for that battered spouse defense, you need expert witnesses. So we have a pretrial today. And I only found a 4-minute clip of this pretrial on Court TV. So we are going to watch this 4-minute clip together. We are going to discuss what we see and what we hear. And as you see, we're going to watch 4 minutes. The hearing is not even 4 minutes. There's some other things in here that we're going to add in or leave in for context or just for us to explain. But is Sarah Boone going to get her day in court? Well, let's find out why the can is getting kicked down the road yet again.
I really love him.
So we'll see if the jury believes that in the suitcase murder trial. Guess what? The judge has just called the case in Florida. Let's go in together now.
So typically I've been trying to set Ms. Boone for...
So just to tell you who the players are, judge is obviously sitting behind the bench. On the screen right now is Sarah Boone's lawyer, Frank Bankowitz. And then also on Zoom is going to be the state attorney, I believe Cacciatore is his name, who's going to come on later. So just so you're trying to listen to who's making arguments or discussing it, the lawyers are on the screen.
Or a separate date because she wants to be present for any discussions about the status of the case. She's authored another letter to the court.
So first off, they're going to continue the case and pick a date because Sarah Boone wants to be present. So that's what they're talking about here. What's frustrating about that for me, an outsider watching this, is that's not a surprise. That's nothing new. She has said multiple times she wants to be present for everything months ago, maybe even years ago. So why are we having to continue it so that she can be present? And you'll start to figure out there's going to be a lot of reasons why this case is getting, the can's getting kicked down the road. And absolutely none of them are shocking. It was a very sarcastic title. Another shocker here. This case keeps getting continued. She waived her speedy trial rights and she says it wasn't a knowing waiver on her part, but firing lawyers and forcing continuances because you want to use the battered spouse defense. That's going to be, as we've learned, a pretty good argument that she has waived her right to speedy trial. And oh boy, is that right getting trampled on? Not necessarily even by the state attorney's office, but it seems like maybe even more the defense team or the multiple defense teams that have been involved in this case. So one of the reasons is that she wants to be present, but we already knew that. And her lawyer should do everything he can to let her be present, even if he's appearing by Zoom. He should do what needs to be done so that she can be present.
Substantially similar to the letters she's authored in the past. So I've just had that directed by Jay to disclose that to you and Mr. Cacciatore. Do we already have a...
Additionally, another letter to the court, right? We've read it together. We've read a bunch of her letters together, and he said it was substantially similar. It is, but that's not a good thing. Substantially similar complaints from a criminal defendant who is saying nobody's talking to her, nobody's letting her know her rights, nobody's letting her know what to do, nobody's letting her know what she can expect, nobody's talking about her defense with her. She's not able to aid in her defense. She's not able to discuss her defense, all of which are her constitutional rights. So if she continues to say the same thing, that her rights are being violated, it's not a good thing. But I don't disagree with the court. It is substantially similar to her other letters.
A specific status date separate from today set?
Judge, I believe it's said, there's something said at 3 o'clock this afternoon on my calendar. But hopefully we can resolve that now. I guess we need to, I'm having issues with JAC with funding my expert, and states provided me with the name of their expert, but I'm sure they can't give an opinion until my expert gives an opinion. And at this point, she's not willing to do that until she can take payment from JAC.
I understand.
So what's another reason why this case is getting continued? Well, you may have caught it. The JAC has not allowed payment for the defense expert. Guess what? That's literally the same reason, or one of the reasons, that the last trial was continued. So we just have the same issues piling up. And you also heard him say something really important. The state was able to get their expert, and the defense should be able to choose their expert to a certain point and get funding that's appropriate so they get a qualified and as good of expert as, the JAC thinks is appropriate to pay for. But it's not a private case, right? It's a public defender case, it's a state-funded case, court-appointed lawyer. So it's not like she can just pick any expert in the world and we get to wait and wait and wait. At some point, the judge has to draw a line and say, she has until this day to get an expert. The state was able to get an expert. The state is also obviously state-funded. So why can they get an expert, but you can't? That's a question I would ask. And he keeps just saying, oh, the JAC is not funding it. We're having these funding issues. It's like, what are the actual issues? Show me proof that you're trying to do this. Now, that might seem disrespectful coming from a judge to a lawyer, but at this point, I think it's warranted. Based on Sarah Boone's letter, based on how long this case is taking, based on some more issues we're going to hear in a minute. But what exactly are you doing to try to get this expert and get them paid for? Are you not able to pay for any expert, or is just something going on with this expert? Are they not on an approved list? Are they too expensive? Are they out of state? What's the issue? Because I haven't heard anybody really dive into the issues with this expert, and now it's potentially going to be a reason that the trials continued not once, but twice.
Here's my number one. I'd be surprised if we docked you for 3 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, good.
I don't. And Ms. Cacciatore, did you have notice that we're doing something at 3 this afternoon?
I did not, Your Honor.
Here's what I'm going to ask you to do on the Boone case. Reach out to my judicial assistant today and schedule a status on her. I want these conversations to take place with Ms. Boone present. Ideally, we'll get it done sometime in the next week. And then I'll address the issue with JAC and where things stand at that point in time.
That's great, Judge. Just to advise the court, I'm starting a first-degree murder case with Judge Weiss on Monday. That's expected to go 4 days.
What do you know? Another murder trial that he is starting on Monday. And I get it. That's tough. It's really tough to have all these murder trials and do all this and stack all this and handle all this at the same time. But don't take it if you can't do it, number one. Number two, don't take it if it's going to violate the rights of some of your other clients. Number three, this is exactly the reason the last one was delayed. Now, it doesn't sound like the trial is getting continued necessarily because of that one, but this status hearing is being kicked out. Now they can't do it within a week. He wanted to have it done within a week, which would be July 18th. He's going to be in trial on July 18th and multiple days before then. So now they're going to have to kick it further than a week out. And you'll hear they kick it to July 21st, which isn't much further than a week, but everything is more delayed than it should be. And that's just not fair to Sarah Boone at some point, right? I'm not saying she's got to have her trial within 6 months. She waived her right to a speedy trial. But this many years, I feel like we've got to draw a line at some point and say enough is enough. Like, let's get this done. Come on.
Okay. Well, I'm fairly certain I'm here on Friday, the 21st. So you can decompress from trying your case by coming and talking to me about Ms. Boone's case.
Oh boy, thanks, Judge.
It's a service I offer, Mr. Bankowitz.
The judge is like, okay, sounds like you're done the 21st. I'll see you then. The first day you're done with trial, let's get in here and let's have this hearing. Now, who knows? Maybe the trial's going to get delayed and take even longer, and then he won't be able to show up the 21st. Or trial could go away, as many of them do, because of a continuance like this one often does. A lot of trials get continued or resolve at the last minute. But now it's already delayed more than a week, and now this exact thing we were supposed to handle today is now going to be done on July 21st, and then they're going to start looking at new trial dates at that point.
Service with a smile, Judge. Service with a smile.
All right. So that court minutes for Boone is just going to reflect that the lawyer is going to coordinate a status conference most likely on Friday, the 21st.
Oh, so we've got a postponement on our hands, my friends, just as I suspected. That's okay, though. We know when it's happening. We know when we're going to see her. We're going to see her on Friday morning, July. I have September in my head because we got word yesterday that that is when the attorneys are looking to set the trial date. So first comes the status conference, July 21st, to see about the definite number of weeks the lawyers are going to need to get everything together, schedule the date for picking the jury, and block off their trial calendars. You heard her defense attorney, number 6, or 6th defense attorney, saying that he's got another homicide case he's starting up on Monday. So this one has to get kicked back till Friday, July 21st. And
so July 21st is when we will be back in court discussing this case again, hopefully getting a September trial date. And hopefully this 2 months is enough time for Bankowitz to get a reliable expert, get them paid for, and get her to trial. You know, the humor is fine in court. It's the lawyer's jobs. But I'm sure Sarah Boone doesn't think it's funny. And regardless of what we think about Sarah Boone or what we think about her case, and if you want to go back and watch the videos of her interrogation or the cell phone videos and how just horrible it looks and how it looks like it's going to be a tough case for her, guess what? She still has a right to a fair trial. Let's get it done. Let's get her to trial. Enough delays. Okay. I mean, this seems obvious to me, but I always welcome and cherish your thoughts. What do you think? Does this just seem like, okay, no big deal, another continuance, let's kick the can down the road? Or at this point, are you starting to see that this is a problem? And again, how's he supposed to be prepping for Sarah Boone's case and getting this expert ready and getting funding for this expert if he's in trial every week? It just seems like there's got to be a better way, right? I mean, that's what I see. And I can think of a lot of things that could go differently that would be more fair to Sarah Boone and getting her to trial. And if a jury convicts her, they convict her, right? I mean, that's how it works. And if she's found not guilty, she's found not guilty. That's how the system works. But she has a right to be there and to get there and not just sit in prison. Imagine if she's not guilty. Just imagine, right? I know how the evidence looks, but imagine she's not guilty and she's just sitting there in prison forever. Imagine this was you or a loved one that you believed wholeheartedly did not do what they're accused of. And this is how the system works. It's tough. As a lawyer in this system, I don't like it. I don't like the way this has played out. And not every case is like this, which is why we're getting different flavors from different cases and learning different things and seeing different parts of the judicial process from different cases, which, you know, I enjoy learning from, and I'm sure you do too. Let me know in the comments, of course, what you think about this. Oh, I almost forgot. I was going to say hit the like button on the way out, but we're going to put a link in the description. You have to sign up to be entered to win the 25 plus things and merch pieces that we're giving away for hitting 250K as part of our celebration. Plus, we're recording like a cool different video that we've never done before. But you have to enter using that link. Sign up, say which merch pieces you like. It's almost like a silent auction, except you're going to get it free if you're randomly chosen. So check it out. Let me know what pieces you like the most. And I'm going to sign some and personalize some. So that'll be cool too, hopefully. It's what you guys said you wanted when we asked. So that's what we are doing. So that'll be an interesting and fun part of it. If you enjoyed this content, hit the like button. As always, I appreciate you joining me. Until next time, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching another episode of The Lawyer You Know. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the thumbs up and share with your friends who may be interested here on YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and TikTok at Tragos Law is our handle. And don't forget to listen to the Lawyer You Know podcast featuring new episodes every week. If you have a case you want to talk to us about, if it's a personal injury case, wrongful death, catastrophic injury, car accident, or slip and fall case, please email us at lawyeryouknow@gmail.com. And of course, all these links I just mentioned are included in the description below on this episode and every episode. So until next time, this is Peter Tragos, The Lawyer You Know.